Okay, with me I have Dark Sky. Make some noise once again for Dark Sky. You guys have quite some releases out since, what, 2010? Tectonic, what else? Black Acre,
Blunted Robots.
50 Weapons?
50 Weapons, yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's a nice little catalog already. When did you guys actually started to work together? And when did you guys met? And where?
It's about 5 years ago now. We met at Audio Engineering College. Tom and Matt knew each other from school, and I met Tom at the college. And yeah, we had a lot of facilities we could use there, and we just kind of started writing music from there, really.
I've always known your music as a kind of, I don't like genres, but let's say post-dubsteppy or kind of broken and housey. I can't even put a genre to it. It's a bit hard. But listening to this last record, this latest, this long-awaited full-length record, Imagine, that I think Mode Selector dropped, right, on Monkey Town. That's a cool thing, one. But when I listened to it, it sounded totally different to what I've known. And in a way, it's still a logical progression. But when I listened to it the first time, it sounded like almost Jean-Michel Jarre or Vangelis. How did that come about? Like, where came the switch of just changing? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'll tell my grandkids that.
Yeah, tell your grandkids.
I think like NTS Radio, like from playing on that show for the past 3 years, it's kind of deepened our knowledge of music a lot. Like having an excuse to like search for records and broaden our horizons musically, like kind of learn more about what's happened before, like because we got caught up in what was going on at the time, just like making whatever. So just like taking time and just going back in time and looking at other music kind of helped to kind of deepen our knowledge, I suppose, and then try and incorporate that into an album. Yeah.
And when did you actually, when in studio, when did you realize that you made something totally different?
Hello. Well,
Hello, Tom.
majority of the tracks on the album date back to like 2, 3, 4 years ago.
So you were actually already
Yeah,
into
so
that.
they're already there, but it didn't feel the right time on. We didn't find the right home to put them out on, so we would go for more clubbier sort of stuff with labels like 50 Weapons, etc. And then when it came down to focusing on the album, took all those tracks like in the pool and picked what would work together and like worked on that.
Where does your inspiration come from in general, from all of you? Like, what did you listen to back in the days, and or what was really like the tunes or the artists that you were like, oh man, this sounds like something I would love to do.
So much. I suppose I could sum it up by Giles Peterson. Like, listened to a lot of his shows and mixes, everything he did, and my music taste sort of developed from that, from what he played.
And he supported from the beginning as well.
Yeah, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
And puts you on shows and
Yeah.
Brownswood things and
yeah, it was incredible.
yeah.
I suppose for me, it's people like Caliber and yeah, a lot of drum and bass artists. Like, and I was lucky enough to work with a couple of them throughout the course of the album, like D Bridge and Trevino. And yeah, mainly drum and bass and hip hop for me, I think.
Yeah, I found this YouTube channel called Vinyl Archaeology. I don't know if you know it, but during the making of the album, and that spent many of a Sunday just going through that kind of, and then kind of came on to library music. I've just been going through like old weird library music from the 70s, that kind of stuff I'm really into at the moment.
That's so cool. You all three have kind of a different view on music, and in a way it reflects the music that you guys do as well. Like when I hear Caliber, I'm like, oh, I can totally hear a track from back in the days that wasn't the Brackets EP, I think, something that reminded me of Caliber, for example. That's cool. How do you guys work together? Or who does what in studio? Or how does it work for you?
Studio's at my house. We just meet up and just mess around. Like we each start tracks and then send them over through emails, and whatever's got potential, we'll just try and develop that. You know.
So it's one by one. So one works on a tune, and then you come together and you work on it, all three of you. Like, oh, this has potential. Let's work. The three of us.
There's a lot of times when you're like, you don't know how to finish the track. So it's like, okay, what would you do, Tom? What would you do, Carlo? Or vice versa. And it's kind of, that helps really get stuff done and really get stuff done.
Well, Carlo and Matt are more skilled in the writing area, getting down the initial ideas. But for a track to like the stage where we're happy to put it out, all three of us have to be like, yeah, we're happy with this. Let's put it out. Yeah, quality control, basically, yeah.
The three of you on stage, what does it look like? What is it? Is it computer?
What, for the live show?
Yeah.
It's Matt on drums, Carlo's using the Ableton Push with a laptop, I'm using an MPC 1000 Novation bass station, and then we have Cornelia singing.
Hi, Cornelia. What is, apart from the album, what can we expect live? What does it sound like? What does it look like? What does it give us something to make you want to go see that show later on tonight? Is Cornelia gonna do something like? Nah.
It's just kind of interpreting it into a live aspect, really. It's kind of, when we're writing the album, a lot of the stuff that we're doing on it, we were thinking about how we'd perform it live. So there's, it's just an added element that's extra from DJing. It makes it kind of goes in hand with it, really.
It's a mixture. We've got some old tracks, a lot of tracks from the album. We tried to like perform the whole album into the live show. And some of the back catalogue. It's a lot more loose. It was more like an interpretation of the tracks. We weren't trying to make them exactly as you heard them on the record.
Mm-hmm.
It's just more of a live interpretation. So yeah.
Your album is out now, Imagine. How cool is it to be signed by Mode Selector? How did that come about? Is it your agent who worked on it, or is it just Mode Selector calling, hey guys, I like what you do, I want to put it out?
It was all down to Subtract. He was passing on some of our older tunes to Mode Selector, and they started playing them out in their DJ sets, and then Subtract introduced us to them on email. We started sending them tunes. Then that's how we decided to do the 50 Weapons releases. And then with the album, we actually had it 80% completed before we went looking for labels, and Monkey Town seemed like the perfect fit. So we went to them and they were more than happy to put it out.
You going on tour soon? Oh, you are on tour? Where are you going now?
Yeah.
Where are you going tomorrow?
Home.
That's not
rehearsal.
a tour.
We're going to the studio tomorrow to rehearse.
Yeah, it's not a full-on tour.
Okay.
Just,
well, thank you guys for coming down and have a little chat with us.
thank you for having us.
Mensen, applausje voor Dr. Hi.
Cheers, Lefto.
Man, thanks, man. Thank you, guys.